Jamie Sire and Andy Katz in studio, reminding you we got a couple of good games coming up as our full slate continues. NC State and Virginia Tech coming up here at 6 p.m. on ESPN2.
Bubble game for the Wolfpack. You can't lose that game. You cannot lose that game if you want to go to the tournament.
You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the Virginia Tech Hokies taking on the North Carolina State Wolfpack, all part of the ACC on ESPN. Welcome you inside is sold out PNC Arena in Raleigh for this Hokies and Wolfpack matchup, part of Rivalry Week. And for North Carolina State, they are rebounding, not rebounding, but maybe rebuilding off of a huge win Saturday in Louisville. And according to Joe Lenardi, they're in part of the last four. I'm joined by former UConn coach Jim Calhoun, Dave Lamont here, and that victory has led to this. NC State is now in the tournament for the moment.
Yeah, but take care of business tonight, because when you get on that bubble, you can slide off it real easily. I still think they're one of the best 15-11 teams in the country. For Virginia Tech, Buzz Williams' first year, hasn't had a road win. Be a special one tonight.
Take a look at the lineup first for Mark Gottfried. The same five that started Saturday versus Louisville. Cat Barber had a magnificent game there. Trevor Lacey, Ralston Turner, that's where the scoring will come from. And for Buzz Williams, Virginia Tech Hokies, one of the younger teams in the nation, they will start two freshmen. They move their lineup around a little bit. We thought they might see Ahmed Hill. We will. Malik Mueller, also a very talented freshman. The future of a program that has a very bright future if all goes as they hope. We're ready to go. Lamar Simpson, Jerry Heater, and Tim Kelly are officials. Simpson has the ball. And the Hokies in the road orange. And the Wolfpack will control.
Well, we started out early very simply. That it's very important, I think, for North Carolina State to establish themselves inside. This is the smallest team, certainly in the ACC, and one of the smaller teams nationally.
No major upsets in the ACC today. Louisville holding off Miami with a late charge. And it's good defense that time by Virginia Tech, and Devin Wilson. And the possession arrow will favor the Hokies.
Well, you know what Virginia Tech did, they just jammed the middle and said, okay, if you want to shoot, shoot it, but we're going to protect the middle early.
Mark Gottfried trying to make it 4 for 4 as NC State head coach to get to the big tournament.
Well, I know one thing. I saw them practice yesterday. They do pass the eye test. They're an impressive-looking team.
The Hokies, big thing for them today is, can they shoot the three successfully?
They have to, Dave. I mean, really, for them to have a chance physically against this team, they're going to have to get some easy baskets, open threes, a little bit of fast break, and maybe occasional offensive rebound.
The third most accurate in the ACC, just under 39%. Wilson off the dribble, throws up a tough shot, and he'll draw foul.
You know what? When coaches do a good job coaching, they tell the kids to chase them off the three-point line, get to them. That time, the play was spread because they were protected against the three. They followed coaching, and that's when you get penetration. You need that second-line defense to get there a tad quicker.
So take a look at Buzz Williams. That might be the calmest you'll see him all day. Fun for us, fun for the fans to watch Buzz Williams coach a game as Cat Barber is hit with a personal foul. And I was surprised today watching him at the shoot-around that he was laid back. You know, we're so used to seeing him emotional and aggravated or happy, depending on what's going on. But he was soft-spoken today.
Yeah, but there's been no jump ball yet. That jump ball seems to ignite something in all coaches, I guess.
Yeah.
Myself included a few years back.
A little pressure by the Hokies.
It's token pressure, just trying to make it take a little bit of time.
Free ball, Lacey, no good, tapped up by Abu and controlled by the Wolfpack. Freeman, and he's fouled.
Well, we said before, they sometimes can put up in the glass and then go chase it down. That's exactly what they did. And I don't know what Virginia Tech can do about that. That time they jammed the middle, but just, quite frankly, got overwhelmed by the pure size and athleticism of North Carolina State. They're going to have to do a better job boxing out.
Leonard Freeman started last week against Louisville after starting the first few games of the season. Then when they began ACC play, he was coming off the bench. Started versus Louisville. He is the top rebounder for the Wolfpack.
He could be a middle linebacker. Quite, you know, he's a big specimen. And you're right. At his size, he's the leading rebounder of the North Carolina State team.
Just a freshman from the D.C. area, misses them both, and the rebound goes to Devin Wilson. And already, as expected, Buzz Williams has been substituting. He started Christian Byer, set him down, then brought him right back in. You hear the double whistle. That's always an indication it's going to go the other way. It's going to be an offensive foul.
Oh, maybe they had two different calls. Instead, that I think you're right. That time he was outside the charge marker and took the charge very well. But it's open because of the three-point shooting. I maintain that, and they've got a drive. He's going to probably pull up on that.
So he'll hit with that. One of the freshmen from Augusta, Georgia.
Because of their lack of depth, Virginia Tech can't afford a lot of fouls early.
NC State handled that pretty easily. Barber thought about the three-pointer. He is exactly one of those people who lives up to his nickname. He is Cat Quick. Turner for three.
And that time it was a 3-2 zone. Zone didn't shift. Knocked it to three down.
Turner, 38% three-point shooter.
I think one of the things we say about NC State, besides being physically gifted, they also can shoot the ball pretty well.
We've got 3 of the top 10 three-point shooters in the ACC in this game today.
And Smith,
7th.
And Smith with the ball right now is one of them.
He's 4th. Hill is not one of the top 10. He misses the 3, but hustles down the long rebound. That's a tough shot for Smith off the window. No good, and Abu clears the board.
You know, it wasn't necessarily a bad shoot. It was a bad shot.
That's going to be short. And the rebound taken by Mueller, playing with a bandage over his eye. He got cut in the Miami game on Wednesday by his own teammate.
Good job of transition defense, getting back to prevent that by NC State. That was a 3-on-1, turned into nothing.
Say what you will about the Hokies, but they will battle you every second on the clock.
It'd be interesting to see every 50-50 ball, how they come out of that, because most of the time they're pretty good at that kind of thing.
Rejection that time inside by Abu. Barber, he has 2 teammates waving for the ball, saying they're open, and he decides he's going to wait a little bit.
Well, he's like the quarterback. He decides if you're open or not.
Yep. Freeman. Lacey, the former Crimson Tide. Abu trying to force a pass through a lot of hands. We're going to get a foul, and I think this is going to go against Virginia Tech. And it will be on Devin Wilson.
Even if the ball gets touched like that, North Carolina State is making the right play against a smaller team. They're getting the ball in the paint, where at this point in time, Virginia Tech doesn't have a lot of answers. They're not a big team. Matter of fact, as I said before, they're the smallest team in the league.
This will be Barber. There you see the quickness. My goodness. That's what he did Saturday. 24 points against Louisville, and a road win for NC State that has thrust them, in the opinion of Joe Lenardi, as the first 4 in. As a 12 seed. The BPI has them as a 10 seed as Mueller launches a long 3 and the rebound to Henry.
Pretty good job of getting out to that three-point shot. Made it a little bit higher than you wanted to be. Good contest.
Hokies being patient. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 15. Mueller on the drive. And that looks like he walked, and he did. We'll step aside with NC State clamping down defensively on the Hokies, who don't have a field goal yet. Welcome back to PNC Arena. Virginia Tech has missed their first 4 shots. NC State has a 3 and a 2. Welcome inside, along with former UConn coach Jim Calhoun. I'm Dave Lamont, and thank you very much for joining us. NC State made some big noise a week ago, Jim, and they beat Louisville in Kentucky and thrust themselves back into that NCAA tournament picture.
Well, Dave, they're on the bubble, but you know that bubble's very slippery. And they started out by taking care of business here, but they're going to have to tonight. This is a big game for them, as every game down the line will be. They've got a chance to get the NCAA tournament, but they cannot get a slip up against a team they're supposed to be.
Well, they've taken care of business in 2 very big games that put them in the position. First off, earlier in the year, when Duke was ranked number 2, Trevor Lacey had 21 points. This was the first time we really heard a big splash from NC State in this 87-75 win. A court stormer for the Wolfpack fans.
Well, we can see it. As I said, the eye test, we said it before, with the eye test passes, they're a good basketball team and can beat, I think, almost anybody. And I think that for them tonight, they've got to take care of business. And, you know, getting to Buzz Williams quickly in Virginia Tech, this could be something for them.
And there you see where they are according to Joe Lunardi, number 12 seed, part of that last 4 in. Now, the BPI actually has them higher as a 10 seed. Either way, it's all good, but I love your point. It's a slippery bubble, and if you don't get through this one today, you'll fall right off.
There might be 15 teams, 18 teams out there, and they're all looking for the last 2 or 3 spots. NC State being one of them. I like their team. I like the way they play, but they have to take care of business down the stretch, and, you know, that's what seasons are made of many, many times. People say it's unfair. No, it's not. It's what it is. You know, it's what it is. I mean, they're a 15-11 team. Could have even a better season if they win some games down the stretch.
Well, how about some keys for the game here, Jim, and for these two teams?
Well, I think first thing, NC State's got to get the ball inside, kind of pound away, and they've got to do a good job with that. Secondly, they got to chase them off the threes. Virginia Tech is a very good three-point machine. Get them off there. For Virginia Tech, well, the opposite. They've got to make threes. And then secondly, try to hold their own up front.
Well, they did a great job there defensively with Hill coming away with a steal. Still waiting on the Hokies to make their first bucket, either from 2 or from 3.
Well, you know, I'm going to make a point. I said earlier that the bigger team certainly is NC State, and Virginia Tech's smallest team in the league. But one of the key points is, because of the size, and size does matter, there's been at least 4 altered shots or not taking shots on twice on fast breaks, twice on penetration, because of the pure size of a team like NC State. They're big and they're very athletic.
That mistake there was the second turnover against the Hokies. We've seen this kind of token pressure so far consistently from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and it's not a bad idea. It energizes your team a little bit, makes it take a little bit of time. They're going to stay in that zone, that 3-2 or 1-2-2 zone right now, and make them shoot from the outside because they can't handle them inside.
That's Cat Barber with it over to Ralston Turner. Turner will fire. That's a 3 ball off the side. No good. Rebound for the Hokies. Controlled by Devin Wilson, just a sophomore.
Dave, 3 really good block outs. That's what they're going to have to do the whole night. They can't take a trip off inside the lane.
Adam Smith with a shot fake and good defense that time by the veteran Trevor Lacey.
Yeah, they're out on the 3-point line. They're not allowing them to get the open 3-point shots, which is always a very smart idea.
You know, 3rd most threes in the conference. They also give up a lot. They've given up the most threes, and there's going to be a foul. It's going to go against Virginia Tech. Mark Gottfried has led 3 schools to 2 NCAA tournaments, one of 7 active head coaches. Every year he's been in Raleigh, his teams have made the NCAA tournament, so he's got that going for him, but he wants to make it 4 straight.
Well, you know, there's another, when I mentioned size, good penetration by Mueller, gets there, sees he's not going to get the shot off and has to kick it out. That causes an offensive foul, but they've got to go up to the rim and almost challenge the big guys right now. They haven't had shots, only 1 shot blocked, but they're being altered by the defense.
They haven't made any yet. They're 0 for 4, and they also turned the ball over 4 times, Virginia Tech. Substitutions now for the Hokies. Will Johnston, number 25, coming to the game. He's got that elbow sleeve on. He had some surgery on that elbow. It cost him to miss 4 games. And also Justin Bibbs, number 10, another one of the freshmen. As Barber almost got travel. Got it off to Lacey in time. Finger roll and stayed up by 6.
Well, whether they pass the ball in or transport it by dribble, if NC State's getting inside, the ball's not going to be blocked. I mean, so they've got to see the fact great advantages in the lane for the bigger and stronger team.
The Hokies do list a 7-footer freshman, Satchel Pierce. He doesn't play a lot. But if you see number 21 come in, you won't miss him. Bibbs. That's Hill.
By the way, that's pretty good defense.
Well, that's been working so far. That shot clock still going down to 6. Step back for Smith, and that's the first bucket for Virginia Tech. It took nearly 7 minutes.
I watched Smith, and I like him because he'll keep taking shots whether he misses them or not. You know, he's a great kid to go on to next play, coach, next play.
He is the leading scorer. Oh, my! 3 ball rolls in for Trevor Lacey. He's got 5. Johnston calling for it. Wilson waves him off and looks at Buzz Williams, who signals the play. Collision there between Johnston and Barber. No call, rightfully so. Johnston out with it. Long 3 there for Smith. No problem. Johnston will pick up the assist.
It may not seem it, but that's actually big shots because you don't want to get down on the road against a good team like North Carolina State.
We're going to step aside as Buzz Williams has called a timeout with his Hokies trailing NC State 10-6 in the first half. Here's our scoring time with the Wolfpack up by 4 here. We got a big one on Monday. Big Monday presented by Verizon at 7. You'll see Montrezl Harrell and the Louisville Cardinals, who barely won today against the Yellow Jackets in the ACC. Then at 9 o'clock, head to the Big 12, number 8 Jayhawks taking on the Wildcats of K-State. So number 12 Louisville versus Georgia Tech at 7. Kansas, K-State at 9 Monday on ESPN, all part of Bracket Builder Week presented by Dish. Coach, why do you think Buzz Williams took that 30-second time out there?
Because after he made that hoop, he's got to make them aware right now that they've got to keep jamming, and yet they still dig out the three-point shots. They're caught in between a little bit, Dave. It seems to me that they're extending on the ball, but the other four have got to be a little tighter, and they've got to get out contested threes.
Shot clock is already coming up to single digits now. There it is at 9. Lacey, low pass. Caleb Martin into the game. There's open three, Barber. Good pass by Martin to notice the open shooter.
Well, you know, pretty good defense, but, you know, the cross-court pass, the skip pass got to them, and they made a good shot. I mean, that happens sometimes. You can play good defense, and guys can actually make good shots.
NC State now 3 out of 6 from 3.
Well, that's not great for Virginia Tech, because they can't pack the lane if that's going to continue to happen, and they can't open this game up.
I mentioned they've given up the most threes in the ACC now. 193 three-pointers have splashed out against the Hokies.
And you'd think the lack of size would actually be helpful in that.
Johnston, funny rotation on that three. He got decked, no call, and back the other way come the Wolfpack. Barber. That's a Lacey three. NC State now 3 of 7 from 3. The rebound goes to Bibbs. Wilson overshot. And the rebound, B.J. Anya, number 21, another big body into the game for NC State.
Boy, Caleb Martin is quick. The freshman, very good offensive player. Just in the game now for NC State.
His twin brother, Cody,
is the defensive side of the family.
Yep. There's a little alley. And there is Caleb Martin, a freshman, along with his brother Cody from Knoxville, NC.
And they were in position, just couldn't even get about size, went over the top of it.
So we have a timeout with NC State and Mark Gottfried's team beginning to hum along on the offensive end. They've held Virginia Tech to just 6 with a long way to go.
I'm not sure that much oop, but nice play over the top for his size. Oop's a little higher than that, Nolly. Good play.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award. And E-Trade. Are you type E?
There is our score. North Carolina State shooting 60% and 3 of 7 from 3, and Virginia Tech just 25%. Now let's take a look at the latest Dish RPI strength of schedule, and it's brought to you by Dish. And look at North Carolina State's taking a claim with the number 2 strength of schedule.
Well, their league certainly helps, playing a great league, maybe the best in the country, certainly arguably the best in the country, ACC. And they've played good folks, and, you know, you can see that they certainly could stand up to most teams physically. They can shoot the ball. They're physical. And once again, they probably have to tighten up D, but tonight they are. They've done a great job to start this game, playing very tough but intelligent defense.
That's Jim Calhoun. I'm Dave Lamont, courtside here at the PNC Center, all part of a rivalry week presented by Wendy's, Virginia Tech, and NC State.
Staying in that 1-2-2 zone. After a little half-court trap just to try to mix it up.
Barber pulled up short and got hit, in the opinion of the official, and Barber comes away hoppling. May have stepped on somebody's foot. Let's take a look here. That will be the second foul on Malik Mueller as we try to take a look and see if maybe Barber's ankle, if he stepped on somebody's shoe.
It looked like he jammed his toe, to be honest with you. And I know personally, and a lot of kids over the years, that hurts. Now, he jammed it into the other man's sneaker.
Yeah, that'll do it. Barber with 5 points, including a 3.
Might have got a piece of the shin, too.
Yeah, might have been a little bone-on-bone contact. But Barber will go ahead and take his foul shots. See what he's done, the difference in his play in the last 4 games. And he was magnificent in that game last Saturday to win over Louisville. 6 points now for Barber.
Well, he's a talented kid, and one thing I love his quickness. People have speed, but he has both speed and quickness. On that wing, when you catch it, he can really go by you.
You see the difference. He had 21 points and 4 assists in the win. He's a McDonald All-American from 2013. Just a sophomore from Newport News, Virginia.
Well, Dave, when he plays well, they're going to play well. I mean, he's the key to their team. He's their quarterback. I hate to say this, sound like a Patriots fan, which I am, but he's their Tom Brady. He's their Tom Brady.
Yeah, we were going to go with your original wardrobe idea of cut-off hoodies, but it was voted down by our producer. I liked the idea myself.
You did. Yeah.
I was all for it, but he wouldn't let us do it.
With ESPN right across the chest.
Yeah, that would have been great. Meyer sets the screen. And underneath, good-looking execution that time, and Christian Meyer gets the bucket.
Nice backdoor cut, nice play. They've got to stay close. I mean, there's no way you can come back on a team that's physically superior to you. You can come back if you continue to make them do things you don't think they do well. You got to take something away, in other words.
We're going to call away from the ball. It's going to go against NC State, and the foul on Malik Abu will be hit for something, maybe an illegal screen.
I love this play. Slips the screen, actually. I thought it was a backdoor cut, but it is. But he slipped the screen. 2 men went for the ball. He gets the rim. And the rotation by the weak side was late.
I just saw Mark Gottfried. I just want to say, wake up, talking about his defense. Wilson gets inside.
Well, that's that penetration I said. They're sitting out on the three-point mark and not allowing Virginia Tech shoot threes. That's going to cause less help defense because they've got 3 or 4 guys at a time sitting out the 3-point. And that's good defense. Usually you see with Dave, the initial defense of a team, it's what the coaches went over during the week. This is how we can negate what we think they do well.
And it's been interesting watching Mark Gottfried the last couple of times the Hokies have had the ball. He's not happy with his defense.
No, he's not. And I think also in offense, he still wants to get the ball inside. And I think right now, you make a few threes, that's great. But sometimes you can fall in love with something you're good at but not great at.
Well, one reason he may not be happy after his team started holding Virginia Tech to 0 for 4. They've gone 4 for their last 6 as Turner caresses that jump shot down.
You know, I love kids that can produce their own shots. That was just an individual effort. Get up, rose, terrific play.
And it's still a 9-point NC State lead. Anya, that's a big body to get around, man. That's a couple of seconds off the shot clock as Johnston goes in, and he's rejected. Picked up, though. No reset of the shot clock. Bibbs will miss an in and out on the jumper.
They're going to shoot their threes because it's the only way right now they feel they can win. And that's a major part of their offense, obviously, 3-point shots.
Martin missing the 3. Johnston had it for a second. Lacey gets it back.
I don't know this, but I would have to say that a lot of these kids on Virginia Tech are natural wingmen playing the 4 position, or possibly even the 5 position. In other words, they're kids who have played at other positions. Now they're asked to go inside.
Well, they don't really have a natural 5.
No, that's a great point.
You know, they don't have a back-to-the-basket guy.
No, they don't. You know, sometimes they talk about having bulk inside, and they say, well, how's it used? It gets used a lot of different ways. And I think that right now, that's the major problem. They're getting physically beaten up a little bit on the inside because they just can't. They're somewhere between boxing and corralling the basketball. And it's a difficult thing when a team outsizes you.
Well, if you look at the size of some of the big men, then you just took a brief look at B.J. Anya, 6'9", 300. And he had lost, by the way, a bunch of weight as NC State packs out more points with a bucket by Lacey.
And that's the only thing right now that Virginia Tech can give them. But they're going to have to make adjustment pretty soon because the ball's going in the basket for North Carolina State.
But to the credit of Virginia Tech, there is some hope on the horizon. They have a couple of transfers that will be able to play next year, and they seem to be very happy with their recruiting classes. Johnston stopped by Turner, and the ball goes to the Wolfpack.
Well, one reason he didn't go in, he get hit not only in the arm, but the face that time.
I kind of thought so, too, but I don't have a whistle. There's an alley-oop and a little bit of an oop there.
Well, for years, I wanted that whistle. They never would give me one. I don't know why.
You don't even get it when you're here on this side of the table. Apparently, it may be you.
I may be hurting Virginia Tech somewhere along the line.
Pull up Jay there, roll around, no good. Martin clears the rebound. NC State could blow this open here inside of 7 minutes.
Well, that penetration stopped because of the size once again. Good second line defense by North Carolina State.
Lacey almost aggravated with one of his teammates. They're trying to move some bodies around. Good passing by the Wolfpack. Led to a good shot, but it'll be a foul on the rebound, and it'll be against Abu as he hit Adam Smith on the rebound. So far, Mark Gottfried's team, although he may not look like he's happy, they are up by 13. Coach, you talked earlier in the broadcast about chasing off the three. What does that mean?
Well, it means just don't go out and contest the shot. You've got to make sure you get out there a little bit earlier, as we'll see, and making sure that the man has to put the ball on deck, has no chance to shoot the three-point shot. And a team like Virginia Tech that shoots so well, here it is, lift fake, chase him off three, second line rotation, and two guys collapse on the ball.
There you go, folks. That's inside the play. Some free coaching from a national champion in Jim Calhoun. There's Mark Gottfried trying to get his team to a fourth straight NCAA tournament berth.
This, by the way, is a Virginia Tech team that averages almost 23s a game. They've got 5 thus far, so they are chasing them off the three very well, not allowing them to even shoot a shot they usually make an awful lot of.
And there you see right there, only 20%.
But only getting 5, that would be a concern to me if I was had a team with great three-point shooting.
It's been over 3 minutes since Virginia Tech last put up a bucket that was good. Right now, it's been all perimeter passing, and we're under the 10-second mark in the shot clock. Down to 7 is Wilson. Byer. 3 to shoot. Going to have to force one up. Tough shot. Missed everything. That's a shot clock violation.
Well, every pass just about was east to west, and you never get any place that way. You got to go north to south, and I think Coach wants, even if you get a little penetration, I'd like to see them penetrate with a pass as well as a dribble, or a dribble to a jump stop, not getting the charge or block shot, and kick it back out. That east to west passing is not going to work.
Finally, it took almost 14 minutes at the half for Buzz Williams to lose the jacket.
Well, that shot might have done it.
Yes, I think it did.
I know the feeling.
You can see the perspiration on the top of the head under the lights. That's normal. But Buzz Williams, who coaches as hard as he wants his players to play, and he gets the effort.
Well, they play hard. I mean, you can see them tonight. They're struggling like crazy, but they're playing hard. They're staying in that zone because right now it's the only way they can protect against the size of NC State. It seems simple, but
now, speaking of going deep in the shot clock, the Wolfpack is down to 2. That is a difficult shot, and Turner just drains it. It's a 2.
I think if you get to an NBA arena, you might see that same kind of shot. What a big-time shot. I think I said to you before, Dave, those 3 kids, Turner, okay, they can match up. Lacey, I mean, they can match up with just about any 3 in the country.
Redshirt senior Ralston Turner from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. His goal, he wants to be a college athletic director. That's a beautiful shot. That's also a 2 put in by Adam Smith and a timeout called.
You know, I like right now exactly what Buzz is doing. He's trying to make sure that this thing doesn't get away too much. And if he gets a little smell, which he just did by a basket, he's going to try to milk that down to halftime.
No, Adam Smith has been his best offensive player so far. We go back and take a look at this remarkable shot by Ralston Turner.
You know, with the ball fake and the jab step forward, he gets space and then spins it to the shot. By the way, you have to be a terrific athlete and certainly a very good player to make this kind of play. He's a big-time player.
Averages 12.6 points per game for Mark Gottfried's Wolfpack. Journey to the tourney presented by Sonic in the night. Norman Powell and Bryce Alford face UCLA against Wooden Award nominee Stanley Johnson in Arizona. It's UCLA versus number 7 Arizona, trying for a 36th straight home game tonight at 9 on ESPN. That's where the game day crowd was. They had a heck of an audience at 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m. Arizona time. They were loud.
By the way, nice to see Cat Barber back in the game. I'm sure just going to, as you said, bone-to-bone jam. Virginia Tech not doing a bad job. The problem is they get, if the ball penetrates, they're having a difficult time with it.
They go underneath, and Abu gets it eventually.
Yeah, that's a real, that's your alley-oop. Thank you. But I mean, that could be good defense, and then the guy maybe, you know, just better than you. So You know, the idea was to play great defense. The idea wasn't to have a guy go, you know, 2 feet above your head and then dunk it on you.
You've seen about 3 of those already. We haven't seen a pure one-jump alley-oop slam, but that was as close as we've had so far.
It's a heck of an athletic play for a freshman, or for anybody.
Out of Boston is Malik Abou.
Don't want to say I might be a tad prejudiced, but I am. He's a nice kid. He's really going to be a player.
Well, it's an interesting mix that the Wolfpack have. You've got the youngsters like Cat Barber, Leonard Freeman, Malik Abou, who all started the day, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. Then you got Lacey, the redshirt junior, and Turner, the redshirt senior. Barber down to 5. He'll fire the 3. Man, Cat Barber.
When they're playing like this, they're very tough to beat. I don't care who they're playing. I know Virginia Tech is not considered one of the stronger teams in the league, but right now they're inside-outside, and their defense has been very good.
Well, you got to start thinking if NC State can take care of their business, and they play North Carolina on Tuesday, that ought to be really something to watch. If they get in that NCAA tournament, they're going to be unpleasant to deal with.
Well, they can score, and I think in this day and age where you and I have seen a lot of games where folks can't score, they can score.
Hook shot. Bibbs off the glass. Justin Bibbs, a freshman from Daytona, with a beautiful shot.
But isn't there things about Virginia Tech you like? I mean, just the way they play. I mean, they're battling this thing. I don't know where it's going to go, but they're battling. I love to see it.
You don't see any hung heads over there on the court. It's certainly not. It's not going to be allowed either by Buzz Williams. He'll keep an eye on the body language for sure.
But I think it's a great observation. You know, I used to tell my kids, you know, I read body language. I read it very well, and I do think it's a very important thing. But then, you know, right now, as I said, it's talent.
Lacey misses a tough shot, tapped around, controlled by Justin Bibbs. Well, it's so easy to read in basketball, too. In football, you can hide behind those pads sometimes, but you can't hide behind a sleeveless tank top in hoops. And Bibbs with a lefty 3.
No question. But sometimes you make shots like that and stay in the game just because you stay in the game. And that's what I think Virginia Tech's doing now. They're going to play a couple of good trips of defense down the stretch here until for the second half in good shape.
Coming up at the 2-minute mark, Bibbs now is 7. He's hit the last 2 for NC State.
First quick. He's quick.
Yeah, well, that's the nickname. I mean, he deserves it.
I mean, he blew by the defender who wasn't in a bad shape. He just blew by him and created the dunk.
But it's interesting, Coach, because so many baskets now, NC State has been getting inside and getting easy dunks against the smaller Virginia Tech team that just can't defend. Well, with a hot shooter, and now 10 points for Bibbs.
They're playing well. Offensively, they picked it up in the last 5 minutes. But the problem is they have no way at this point in time of defending, okay, this NC State attack from inside outside, which anytime you get it in, the outside opens up.
This is a 10-0 one-man run for Justin Bibbs. Now, it's not 10 straight points, I should say, by him for Virginia Tech. NC State has obviously had answers on the offensive end. And here comes another one here from Turner. Short. And Bibbs is grabbing a rebound, too. He's doing everything.
Well, you look at them once again. Every kid is involved. Every kid's they don't take plays off, which is a big, big key.
We go back to Bibbs here. Will that be the case? He has it now. Johnston. Bibbs. Adam Smith on the drive. Lacey, good job to cut him off. Smith, a very difficult shot. It was knocked out of his hands. Barber, shot clock is off.
And I know that, but nice play.
Henry came up with a block.
I know Mark Godfrey yelled for them to chase him off threes. They did, and we got a block out of it.
29.2 to go as we step aside. The inside game for NC State. Unstoppable. Abou.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Pep Boys. Trust the boys to get you there.
There is our score. North Carolina State leading by 10. Virginia Tech has battled as gamely as they can, but NC State has a lot of weapons on the offensive end. Coming up at halftime, the Land Rover halftime report was Subin Mehendi, Miles Simon, and Andy Katz. Duke without Okafor today, and the clutch Cardinals. Louisville hangs on to defeat the pesky and unpredictable Miami Hurricanes. All that and more on the Land Rover halftime report. Shot clock off. And if there's a foul situation, I haven't had too many whistles so far.
I was just thinking the same thing. Is it 1-1 or not? I think they'll take the last shot here. Yeah, the 24 now, so.
Barber very.
This, by the way,
that
yeah, excuse me, this is the first time I've seen them switch to the man-to-man for this possession.
Under 10. Barber. And I think he walked.
Which time? No,
the time when they blew the whistle.
My point being is if he stumbled, couldn't get his feet back, and they had to call whistle.
That time his feet a little too quick, even for an athlete of that caliber. Smith, long three, it'll count. Count it! Virginia Tech had shot poorly for most of this half, but the last 3 minutes, as Smith hits double figures, they got hot. They made their last 6 field goals.
This kid's special, coming off this, the old weed play off the screen, elevates, terrific shot.
Never any question, not even going to bother to go to the monitor, the officials. This one was good all the way.
Well, I like his pins. I like the fact he can elevate himself to get that shot off over a 6'10" guy.
Little momentum for the Hokies as they go into the break. And a halftime score here, NC State 32, Virginia Tech 25. Now let's join Zubin Mehedi, Miles Simon, and Andy Katz for the Land Rover halftime report after the break.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover, above and beyond.
Welcome back to the Land Rover halftime report in Raleigh, part of Rivalry Week presented by Wendy's. There's our score. NC State up 7, led by as many as 16, but the Hokies went on an 11-2 run to make it very interesting. Along with Jim Calhoun, I'm Dave Lamont. Yeah, this has been the game where it looked like NC State really had a grip on it, but Virginia Tech got hot.
Well, Virginia Tech made threes, which is what we said they had to do to stay in this game, and they made a virtual art out of getting deep threes over what NC State was trying to do with them defensively. But, you know, the reason that State leads right now at 12-4 in the paint, they're trying to go inside. And when they go inside, in all honesty, it's very difficult for Virginia Tech to really do anything. Here's great dribble penetration, and they went over the top. Nothing Virginia Tech could do on that particular play. Here's another one. Big guy grabs it, up and in. When they're inside, they're almost impossible for them to, almost impossible. And on the defensive end, NC State early, except for the last 4 or 5 minutes, chased them off the threes, rotated down with the second-minute line defense, and did a great job of preventing those threes.
That's what you call chasing off the threes. And there you see the stats. Virginia Tech, though, shooting 44% from 3. NC State 40. The points in the paint, you mentioned the bench points for Virginia Tech. They've substituted more liberally. That might be part of the reason behind that. And then the run that has kept this game interesting when it looked like the Wolfpack had a stranglehold. We thank you for watching the Land Rover halftime report. When Coach and I come back, we'll get you second half to get underway here from Raleigh.
You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
And welcome back. It is the Virginia Tech Hokies taking on the North Carolina State Wolfpack, all part of the ACC on ESPN. PNC Arena in Raleigh. There's our situation. All part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Second half about to get underway. Now, this is a big one for NC State. Just a week ago, they knocked off Louisville in Louisville to get back into where Joe Lunardi likes them as one of the first or the last 4 in.
Yeah, before that, they had Duke, so they've had a couple of terrific wins, but they're going to have to take care of business tonight. This team has played into its keys by the fact they've been inside, did a great job of getting the ball into the paint, outscored Virginia Tech by 8 there, but late, they weren't chasing off the threes quite as much as we would like and gave up some tough threes, but still, they've got to take care of business.
Let's go back and take a look at your keys and see how that has gone for these two teams.
Well, Virginia Tech make threes. They did late, and they made them. And they've actually done a pretty good job, only giving up 4 offensive rebounds to 3 they've got. On the other side of the ledger, where the mountainside, that actually is a difference in the game. I think that if NC State continues to pound on the side, they're going to be very difficult for Virginia Tech to stop. And then, secondly, chase them off the threes. They can't give up as many threes as they did late in the half against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia Tech got rolling in that. They made their last 6 field goals. to cut a 16-point game down to 7.
Well, you know, it's not a game. It's not a game of play. It's a game of plays, and you've got to do every single minute and continue to make the same kind of defensive moves they were making before.
Barber trying to go inside. Instead, he'll fire. There's 3 that's short, and a rebound goes to Christian Bayer.
Yeah, and you know, outmanned by about 50 pounds and about 5 inches. A nice job boxing out. I love seeing kids make those small plays that make a difference later on.
That's Devin Wilson with it. He's joined by Justin Bibbs, who had a 10-0 one-man run there earlier. Open Bayer.
You know, they ran the same plays they ran. Wasn't a late pass that time. The same slip the screen. Man, 2 men take the screen, they jump it, and he slips to the basket.
It was a 13-2 run. Now spanning over the end of the first half to where we are right here in the opening minute.
And that's what I keep saying. You need to stay focused on defense.
Lacey. That's a 2. That's a long 2, but it's an important basket for NC State. Lacey with 9.
Oh, you got to be really good like Lacey.
That never hurts. Sometimes talent trumps all the brains in the world.
You know, I mean, he was relatively free, but then once again, turn, sorry, he's 18 feet away, buries a jump shot. Okay.
There's Bibbs, left-handed shooter. Bayer back to Bibbs, and there it is. Counted one way or the other, that was going to go in. It was a goaltending call, but also going to be a dozen points for Justin Bibbs.
Well, that time, very simply, he did a terrific job of back cutting. We had to slip the screen. Now the simple back cut.
So Virginia Tech, an offensively challenged team at times this year in the ACC, fighting back.
Well, because generally speaking, except for the end of the first half, NC State's outplaying them on the perimeter. The court is spaced and open, and is allowing them to get the back cuts and slip the screen.
Contact. That's going to be a block. Count the basket. Bibbs with 14.
And Gabe, I mentioned before, as he comes down, he was moving at the end. So good call. Good call. He's moving at the end. One little step
right
over
there. Yep.
By the way, I did say, and what I think we said, if they get some easy baskets, that's one of them. Transition baskets are big for this team.
Bibbs is a 69% free throw shooter. That's way off. Rebound tapped around and knocked OB. It'll belong to the Wolfpack.
Good hustles both ways. And I see Buzz likes it too, because that's what you want. If you get enough of those 50-50 balls, those loose balls, you got a good chance.
Well, you know, the attitude of the shoot-around today, this is an 11-16 team that hasn't won an away game, and yet I thought their shoot-around was lighthearted. It wasn't heavy. Nobody looked like they were sad to be there. They had a good aura around them.
Yeah, I thought they were serious, but in turn, enjoying it. Yeah, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, they had some fun at the before and at the end, but they also, when it came time to pay attention, they paid attention. Lacey, and he's at 2.
Well, there are only so many kids that can come off a dribble pick like that, spring up and shoot a jump shot. Lacey's one of them. He's a good-looking prospect, possibly for the NBA.
And off the glass goes Adam Smith. And so Virginia Tech is finding some spots in the NC State defense. And the architect of that defense calls a timeout.
Well, you know, once again, spacing is always about the getting spacing.
Mark Gottfried is disgusted. Virginia Tech has made their last 10 field goal attempts, 6 for 6 to end the first half, 4 of 4 in this second half as we go inside the play with Jim Calhoun.
Well, no question, the great strong side spacing. Look at the gaps where no one is close to the offensive end. I'm talking about his own man. Many times your own teammate is defending you by getting in the way by allowing a defender to sag down there. They left the whole strong side, only 2 men there allowed the drive to the hoop. And by the way, the rotation was weak of getting over the second-line defense.
Well, shockingly, because we talked about the size of NC State all day, Virginia Tech has 8 points in the paint in this half. And none at the moment for the Wolfpack. That could change at any moment, though, with their size and strength. Lacey, he's played well. He's missed that one, though, after making a couple in a row. We've got a foul. We're going to stay under the NC State bucket. This SportsCenter special features an intimate conversation between living legends and modern-day trailblazers on challenges overcome and challenges still ahead. African-American trailblazers, past, present, and future, presented by Verizon Wireless, Sunday at 7 on ESPN. Devin Wilson hit with his second foul on that play.
Ball pressure is pretty good right now out of that zone.
Tough shot. Count it for Desmond Lee, the senior from Norfolk.
Well, give him some credit. You know, he had the ball, saw the space, went to the rim, finished the play. One of the reasons he finished the play, watch his head. His head stays up at the rim. A lot of kids get fouled, put their head down. He stayed up and made the shot. That's a big play. We used to teach our kids, when you get hit, look at the rim and finish the play.
He was a very good player at New Mexico Junior College. And he has his first points of the evening. NC State picked up their first points in the paint after they dominated in there in the first half with several alley-oop looks. Another field goal made by Virginia Tech. That's 11 for a last 11.
I thought you said feel good.
Well,
Buzz Williams does. I'll tell you what. I saw the look at his face, and he kind of gave a little nod.
Lee, patient. That's Lacey from Barber. Lacey, they go inside again. It was deflected. Lee was hanging on the rim for a second. The basket shaking. No call, and it's going to be laid in the paint.
While they get in the paint, there isn't, as I said before, a great answer. They just got to make sure, Virginia Tech now, that they don't allow the ball in there. But good penetration, good pass.
And Leonard Freeman, the freshman from D.C., got that one. This is hilarious. I don't know if I've seen a team hit. It's over. The streak has died at 11 in a row, but that is rare to do 11 for 11. Almost a collision between Lee and Barber there led to a turnover, but Lee able to hang out of the ball.
And they almost got the offensive rebound. Once again, they're shooting with great confidence, and they started the game off not making a shot. They've been, as you said, making a ton of shots right now.
Can they maintain that, and can they rebound after a miss? We'll see what State can do. Good pass by Abdul. Wow.
We just saw a classic example of the high-low pass, and when you run high-low at the foul line, there's no defense because there's no strong side, no weak side. And that's a big, big play. They cannot allow that to happen.
Timeout called by Buzz Williams and Virginia Tech. His team got close, and as the Wolfpack began to push back, Buzz Williams, sensing the moment, coach, decides, I better call a timeout.
Well, we can't see a repeat of that. No way they can allow that ball into the paint. I mean, this team is too powerful for Virginia Tech. They're going to have to give up contested threes. They cannot allow the ball in the paint.
Well, it's interesting because Virginia Tech was in a hole as deep as 16 points in the first half, and it was 26-10, I believe, is what it was. And they came roaring back with a nice run, and they have made this very close. 83% in the second half, 71% shooting for NC State. So all logic dictates that will bubble down to something more manageable in the 50s, perhaps.
Yeah, it may, but I think the big thing is they cannot allow two-point shots like that. I mean, that's the key. They're going to have to stay focused, play after play. And I think what Buzz is doing a great job of tonight, Dave, very simply, he's called probably one or two more timeouts than coaches would have, but he's going to play it play by play because he doesn't want to get much separation. He knows what his team can and can't do. Separation at this point on the road against a veteran team is tough. It's tough anywhere. Back up.
And it leads to a stop.
I saw it being set up on the post, high post pass, little ball fake, back cut.
4 points in the paint for Virginia Tech, and Ahmed Hill was the recipient of that beautiful assist.
Are we watching Princeton?
You know,
beautiful stuff.
The Butch Van Bredekoff style of offense.
No question.
I did not know that until last night.
I think we talked about that.
We did. Lee for three. And another good box out by the slender Justin Bibbs. NC State has missed 5 of their last 6. That would have been an and one. We will step aside as NC State leads by 5 for Virginia Tech and some style points
well,
here.
How well set up is this? Ball fake like he's coming over the top, back cuts, terrific basketball play. And remember, there's no weak side.
Well, we can't say we're terribly surprised about that. Thank you very much. They head to Starkville on Wednesday on the SEC Network. Arkansas, Georgia, and Florida remaining for John Calipari's team.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I said before I didn't think they'd do it. It's a long season, but, you know, their injuries don't affect them because it's so deep. But, I mean, give them all kinds of credit. The game I'd look for right now is the Arkansas game. Arkansas can turn you over.
Yeah. Look at that. That is an interesting. Kevin Hart, Miley Cyrus, the most interesting man in the world. Zach Galifianakis. I saw Ron Burgundy. The students here put some effort into those signs.
It's not your everyday.
No, that's not like the cutout of the coach or something like that. I'm sure there's a Mark Gottfried sign somewhere, but man, that was impressive.
Wasn't she Hannah Montana? What happened?
At one time, yes. Now she's cashing checks. Someone's doing it for her. Lacey, a long one. NC State just gone cold from three. They've missed their last 6 from beyond the arc.
And they can't fall in love with that. They're still better when they get the ball inside.
Wilson, a good idea, but it was blocked by B.J. Ani. Again, he's just so wide. That's the first turnover of the half.
Well, he only took it 1 block up the street. So 2 blocks to get that pass off. He's a big kid.
7 turnovers. That's all so far from Virginia Tech. Does the name Wayne Embry ring a bell?
Oh, my God. Wayne the Wall.
Yep. There's a 3-ball. Ralston Turner.
Well, on target. I mean, those are the things I think eventually they could and will cause if this game goes for NC State, which it appears it might, is the fact they have such a difficult time defending inside, but then going back outside.
And if NC State wants to stay in Joe Lunardi's good side, they need to win this game.
This would be, you know, maybe not for them so much the kids. It is for me and you, but a fun game, but it is a business game. They want to have a lot of fun later in the season.
Partially blocked by Anya, 68th block on the season.
The second line defense showed up.
Barber, that's a 3. And the Hokies corral the rebound. Nice effort that time to stay with the ball by Ahmad Hill.
I'm impressed by the defensive rebounding, Dave, in the second half.
Well, the rebound, Virginia Tech is hanging in. They're only 3 rebounds down in the column overall.
And early in the game, it looked like it would be devastating.
Well, if you line these teams up, you would think that too. I mean, let's face it, NC State is just a bigger team.
I mean, NC State's big everywhere. I mean, the guards are big except for Cat, who's quick.
4 to shoot. That shot's partially blocked. And there's an example of the size advantage working for the Wolfpack there on the defensive end.
And they're back up on the 3-point shooters, which they had kind of let down end of the first and beginning of the second. Chased them off the threes.
Virginia Tech had a run of 11 straight made field goals over the 2 halves. Lacey, that's a tough dribble.
That was a power dribble because of strength. He almost knocked the man off, but took a little bit of a rush shot. But didn't need to do that.
It was one and done, and there's contact.
It's a lot of contact.
Boy, I got to admit, I'm really surprised there was no foul call there. We'll step aside with NC State up by 7. There is our score in time. The Wolfpack up by 7. Virginia Tech has gone a little cold now. They have missed 4 of their last 5. Let's take a look at how the Hokies are planning for success. It's brought to us by Northwestern Mutual.
Well, I'm sure Buzz Williams is trying to develop a culture, number 1. He wants to know how we do things. Secondly, define who we are by our attitude. Third, who we are comes out to be the combination of our attitude, how we do things, our culture. But he's got to keep every single day an eye on the future because he's a terrific coach, as we've seen. But he's got to get, not just, he's got good players. He needs more good players, and he's got to look with the eye to the future doing today's work.
But his future might be very bright, actually, when you take a look at what's coming in for next season. And I realize that he has to coach in the moment, but at the same time, he can take every once in a while, kick back and look at his future. And it's not bad. Some of his future is sitting on the bench in street clothes right now, as a matter of fact.
No, they've got 2 good transfers. They've got 3 very good freshmen coming in.
Inside, there they go. Anya surrounded by 3 Hokies, and the best they could do is foul him. So let's take a look at what the Hokies have coming in for next year. So that's Seth Allen right there. He is a Maryland transfer.
A double-figure scorer in the ACC.
Yep. So there you go. Back when Maryland was in the ACC, where they belong. USF transfer second of the day. Sorry, I couldn't resist. And Chris Clark, who ranks high on the ESPN 100. So you've got 2 guys who are already able to work out with the team, although they can't play, obviously, coming in. And this could turn around quickly.
It could, and there's no reason to think it would. He's also got a point guard coming in, a 6'8", 225-pound kid. He's got good players coming in. I think that if you're going to, you know, buy a stock on the rise, Buzz Williams, Virginia Tech.
Get it while it's cheap.
By the way, we kind of know we were on that huddle that time. They came out, all got to the foul line, high-low, get the ball inside. That's where we're better.
So that foul was on Malik Mueller, number 1 there with the bandage over his left eye, and he has 3 personals. Keep an eye on that. That bandage courtesy of a collision with a teammate on Wednesday night in Coral Gables and a loss to the University of Miami. 3-ball misses.
I mean, they're going to have to do that without question, but that'll be take the threes.
Lacey, there's the 3 right there.
Yeah, those are the things that, once again, now you're in a dilemma. You've got 10:32 to go. You're starting to fall down. You know, what defense we're going to do, Dave? Are we going to take inside or outside the way?
It's an 8-0 run for the Wolfpack as they try to remain in that next 4-in list. And Lacey has a 3 in 13 straight games after that shot and 14 points on the evening.
Well, here's an example where they pack it in because they just gave up a layup inside. When they pack it in, Lacey makes a jump shot from the outside. And that's when you say, you know, what am I supposed to do, Coach?
Right. We can't stop the inside a moment ago. We can't stop the outside with a talent like Lacey, the Richard Jr. from Huntsville, Alabama.
And that's why we said at the beginning of the show, this team is good. I mean, they can beat you inside, they can beat you outside, and they've played at times very good defense tonight.
They've also had some losses that I'm sure has left their faithful and everybody else scratching their heads too. They're 6 and 7 in the ACC,
and yet they don't look 6 and 7.
No.
But this is a terrific league, and you're going to be tested every night, and you need focus 40 minutes a night.
So can the Hokies battle back? They got close. They got within 4 after being down by 16.
Back cut. Lisa chased him off very well. Instead of just contesting, he went out and played and made him put it in the deck.
Little lefty shot. I tell you what, Justin Bibbs is having a night. He had 22 earlier in the year against the Qs, and he's lighting them up here. 16 points.
He's a good-looking player.
And he's a freshman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The future for Buzz is some of these kids, too. I shouldn't just talk about the guys sitting out and guys coming in. He just said we need more good players.
Lacey on the drive is Caleb Martin. He'll fire a 3-ball.
The big wing comes off the bench. He buries a 3, and once again, that's a lot of pressure on Virginia Tech. They're going to have to obviously get a few baskets going down the stretch, and eventually you're going to have to make some stops.
That's Devin Wilson with it. You got Ahmed Hill spotting up in the corner. Wilson goes all the way against the bigger body. Tipped in by Christian Beyer.
Who, by the way, hangs around the basket. Not a very big kid, probably $185, $190. Hangs around the basket. He's doing a nice job.
From New Bern, North Carolina, so he's probably got some family around here watching him play. Capital One academic All-District 3 first-teamer is Beyer.
They're going to play Lacey a little bit closer right now.
But then you've got this guy who can shoot threes.
Well, you know, besides the timeout, there isn't much answer for that. That's just a good play. They jammed the inside, took away the power game, made it tough 3.
Impressed with the recognition, too, of the ball handlers for NC State to know where those shooters are.
Well, when they're going inside out, we said before, they're dangerous. They certainly are. Tonight, we're seeing they are a one-dimensional team.
4 to shoot. That's a 3. One and done on that one, and coming out with a rebound, fighting off the traffic is Trevor Lacey. Lacey will fire.
Don't know if I like that shot. I know one thing for sure, Mark didn't. Mark Murphy didn't like that. Didn't need it.
Lacey might have been going for an early dagger there, and it didn't work.
I'm not disagreeing, but, you know, 2 or 3 passes to get the same shot. That's what we tell the kids. If you get the same shot 5 or 6 passes later, the answer is yes.
Beyer's going to go after it. Hard collision, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Beyer. That'll be 2 against him as the 222s went after it. We have a man sitting at the table who's overqualified to offer his thoughts on the Oscars. We'll explain when we come back. College basketball fans, you may think you know a lot about Jim Calhoun as we come back here on Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. You know him as a champion coach. You know that he's a member of SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild. I don't really want, for a long time. In fact, the membership's going to expire soon. Just want to let you know. So what would be your final 4 picks for the Oscars?
Well, I love Birdman with Michael Keaton. Terrific movie. He does an incredible job. It's a long way from Johnny Dangerously. Great job. Foxcatcher. I played in the DuPont Pavilion. Need no more be said. Great movie. Steve Carell, incredible. Imitation Game. The breaking of the Nazi code during World War II, an amazing story. And then Whiplash about a coach. And a coach that I never thought I'd see a coach who makes me look calm, but he did. 4 great movies. It's my final 4 movies of the year.
And there you see, you'll find out if he's got his final 4 correct when the Oscars are Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern on ABC. So in the last 6 minutes and 15 seconds, the Hokies have only had 2 field goals. And that slump, along with some sharp shooting from Trevor Lacey and Ralston Turner, has put NC State back in control of this game.
Better offense by NC State, and honestly, better defense. You can't sleep on the Virginia Tech team. And I know it seems simple to say that, but it's really true.
Touch foul going to be called there against Adam Smith. And that's going to just be his first. Both teams, by the way, have now dropped into the 50s on shooting percentage after one point being in the 80s and 70s in the first few minutes of this half.
I think we talked before about the wear down effect, how you wear a team down. Well, inside, they're starting to get a few offensive rebounds now.
Anya. Well, the pass lane was cut off, and he just fires up a bomb, and he will draw the contact instead. Anya wanted to kick it to the corner, and it was cut off.
Well, you know, if I was a coach, I might say to the official, I'm not sure that was 3 seconds, but I was counting April, May, and June. I mean, he did seem to spend a lot of time there.
3 on Devin Wilson. Anya, 50% free throw shooter. Leading shot blocker in the ACC this year.
You know, if he boxed you out, you'd be boxed.
You're boxed. You're not getting around. Now, and just imagine he was 60 pounds heavier a season ago.
Well, he's a good athlete. You can see that. He's got quick feet.
It's funny, good hands. Sometimes the biggest guys are light on their feet.
It's amazing, but he is.
It's true.
And the other kid, Abu, is very quick on his feet.
16-4, NC State run. Beth Williams having a conversation at the top of your screen with one of the officials. Not too animated, but he's not happy about something he doesn't during the play. He almost got hit with that pass. And there's again, hanging around the bucket is Byer.
I like Byer. You know, he's giving up, as I said, 30, 40 pounds at a time, and certainly some height, but it's a tough kid. You know, he's normally a free man, but he's playing inside to help his team.
He has 8. He's a senior, giving it all in his last year. Tapped back out, almost a volleyball spiked out.
Well, that's that size once again. Yep. I mean, it's just the fact that he outjumped his man, tapped it out.
And a foul away from the ball. And that's going to go against Justin Bibbs.
And the other thing is that even though they've subbed quite a bit, the idea of a bigger opponent can wear you down right now on that cut. He just held because he got tired.
We're going to the bonus here, 1-1. And NC State, 7 of 9 so far on the line. We have not had a parade to the foul line today. This will only be the 15th and 16th free throw. Well, 16th if he makes the first one that we've had. Turner, 82% foul shooter. And the former Bayou Bengal makes that one. Big Monday presented by Verizon at 7. Montrezl Harrell leads the Cardinals against the Yellow Jackets in the ACC. Then at 9, let's go off to the Big 12. The number 8 Kansas Jayhawks take on the Wildcats. We got Louisville, Georgia Tech at 7. Kansas, K-State at 9 Monday on ESPN. All part of Bracket Builder Week presented by Dish.
I think you mentioned before, Dave, but Turner's the only senior. No question in my mind that with the guys coming back at NC State, they could be terrific. They're good now, but they could be pretty special next year.
Well, the Basketball Power Index has them as a 10 seed in the tournament. Joe Lunardi in Bracketology has them as a 12.
Well, you and I both know the only thing they can control, if they just keep winning, the rest will take care of itself.
Now, North Carolina is their next opponent. That's a tough shot and a rebound by Lacey. The Hokies will play Duke next. Martin. There's a three ball for the freshman Caleb Martin.
You know, he missed a couple, and I'm not ill-advised, but not rushed. That was a much better one. He stayed with a little determination.
This is the largest lead for the Wolfpack, but we have a timeout with 5:47 remaining as NC State needs to stay on that bubble, and right now they're 5:47 away from doing so.
Here's a young freshman, and they want him to be good. In the corner, drops. He's letting everybody know, I can do that. I can do that.
21-6 run. He's a 30% three-point shooter.
Yeah, but he's got a pretty good stroke.
Yeah.
Like a lot of freshmen, he just got to take a little bit better shots.
So let's go back, and we've talked quite a bit about NC State and their NCAA chances, and there's still a little bit of time left before the season wraps up. And let's take a look at their tournament resume. BPI, RPI pretty solid, but it shows you how tough the ACC is, Jim, when they're 6-7 in this conference.
Well, I mean, but still, they played a terrific schedule, as we talked about early in the broadcast, and they've got a couple of pretty good people coming up. So the ACC is not going to rest, and then you've got the tournament. So they're going to see plenty of good folks. As I said before, I never used to worry about it. I thought if we kept winning games, and at the level that NC State is right now, a team that's just barely in, the rest will take care of itself. They'll be an NCAA tournament team. I don't think there's any question about that.
And Mark Gottfried even showing a little perspiration there.
You know, these ones that you're, quote, supposed to win, are the more difficult ones.
I was going to ask you that because you certainly ran into a lot of those when your teams were humming along in the Big East and winning a lot of games and competing in Final Fours. And I'm sure there were nights where your players like, oh, man, we'll just show up and we got this. And your job was to convince them otherwise.
Well, once NC State got the big lead, with 4 minutes to go in the first half, they kind of relaxed defensively, didn't get the ball inside longer, and all of a sudden it became a 7-point game.
Penetration almost turned out to be a minor problem for the Hokies, but they controlled it with Smith. Hop step, rejection by Anya.
Well, they're classically opening the court up. Virginia Tech do a nice job. Conversely, the second line chasing them off the threes, driving to the basket. Second line rotates over and blocks the shot. I like this. Most coaches would.
I'd like to meet the one that doesn't.
You're right. Well, you know, they talk about rim protectors, but not everybody has one.
Right.
They've got some rim protectors.
That's 3 for Anya. That gives him 70.
And he's getting a few more minutes now than LeBou. I mean, just because, I mean, they've got the luxury of 2 terrific big guys.
He's now at 11 blocks over the last almost 3 full games. Almost got one there. Forced a bad 3, but a good rebound for the Hokies. They stay alive with Byer again.
Good contest.
He's a clever player. Seems to find where the ball is.
Right now, they're trying to figure out how do we get in there. Or if we do, how do we finish the play?
Well, they still have a little bit of time to come up with a solution. They've got 15 to shoot.
Exactly.
Smith will try a 3. They went under the screen, and it didn't work.
Yeah, you don't down the screen him. He's still, they probably need to try to get him more shots, but so doesn't NC State knows that. But he can get his shot off. He may be the one kid at Virginia Tech that could personally get a shot off.
Well, he's a nice straight game in double figures. He's 4th in the ACC in 3-point field goal percentage.
Well, he's going to be a very good play because he's got a beautiful stroke, and he can get it off himself.
He'll have one more year as a Hokie, and Martin misses that one. Tap up, rolled around, no good. That was Desmond Lee at 6'4" getting in there to tap it up, but he couldn't get it to go. Now Buzz Williams has gone to the towel.
Did he take a bite?
If he didn't take a bite, he hasn't done a Jerry Tarkanian tribute.
I was going to say, he's good. Well, he's actually, Jerry did not wipe his brow off with it either.
No.
By the way, he chewed on it.
I'll never forget, had my then young sons in Orlando, and Buzz Williams coaching at Marquette, and we watched him coach. More than I think than we watched the game. My boys were fascinated by Buzz Williams, and they became Marquette fans that minute because of the way he coached. 3 ball up and good for Austin Turner.
They're really good. Tough to have answers like that. And they've stayed with it in some ways. NC State, you know, understood what's at hand here. Big game for them to win, as every game is right now.
Turner with 18 points tonight. And NC State is beginning to put this game on lockdown. 6 to shoot. Smith, that's an almost impossible shot. And Lacey will control the rebound. Good defense by the Pack that time.
Very good. They dug in. The difference was they made threes and played defense, and eventually went inside. But they played defense, which set everything else up. And it was,
a little miscommunication there between Lacey and Martin. That hasn't happened very often with a game that Trevor Lacey has.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award.
The celebration is on here, and finally the league presented by Wendy's is going the way of NC State over Virginia Tech in an ACC battle that the Wolfpack had to win to stay on that bubble for the big dance. Well, you know, Jim Calhoun may know a thing or two about basketball. I don't want to brag on my partner's behalf, but these were your keys. How are they falling?
well, Virginia Tech made threes late in the first half, early second half, and stayed in the game. When they got defended and got chased off the threes by a good defense by NC State, it didn't work so well. And then two things happened. They wore them out inside in a lot of different ways. NC State is powerful. Virginia Tech is small. They were able to wear them out. And then secondly, no question that they got the ball inside. When they got the ball inside, we saw there was nothing at times that Virginia Tech could do. So bottom line is that, you know, when a team knows its strength, did a great job.
It was chased off 23 times. NC State defense chased off Virginia Tech going for 3. Did you have a number in mind coming in that would be successful?
Yeah, I thought 15 to 16 would be great, but they've driven up there all night. And by the way, of their 6 block shots, they were almost all college by driving a man to the second line defense, and the 6'10" guy would go up there and block the 6'3" guy's shot. That's not rocket science, but it's what they need to do to win the game. Because Virginia Tech, we saw at points, could be very dangerous. You wouldn't want that at the end of the game in a 4-point game, them shooting the way they did.
No, there was one point in the first half as they go underneath on you that they were in the second half. They were shooting 80%. Now that's calmed down in the half. And that's going to be an offensive foul. Erase the bucket. That'll be a foul on Lee. Hey, I want to remind you that college basketball continues on Super Tuesday on ESPN, presented by Cree Lighting. This is all part of Bracket Builder Week, presented by Dish. Big Ten battle, Wisconsin a winner today, facing number 16 Maryland, and a 9 Texas A&M takes on very strong Arkansas team. That's Tuesday on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
You know, I'd like to see the Virginia Tech kids, what they're doing right now, going on the floor for loose balls, just took a charge. You know, there's something about the purity of basketball and the kids' effort that, from a coaching standpoint, it makes you feel good.
And for those of you who like to keep up with Buzz Williams' wardrobe watch, the tie is finally off. It took a while, but the tie is off.
I think somewhere around those 5th or 6th three-point made by North Carolina State, that Buzz decided the tie wasn't working real well.
And we're going to have a timeout and travel here, excuse me.
He called timeout. Good call.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I see one official making a hand signal that looked like a travel.
No, the timeout.
But they're going to get some extra players in for NC State. Some of the guys that don't get to play very often are going to be substituted in. And that is much to the delight of the crowd.
I hate to say this, but they look bigger than Virginia Tech, too.
Well, Chris Corciani Jr., of course, son of an NC State legend. That's him right there. Look at Stats Battle. That's a great name, by the way.
I was going to say that. That's a wonderful name.
And if it's not pronounced Stats, it is now, at least for television purposes.
All for the rest of his life.
Yeah, Chase Cannon. And Chris Brickhouse is in. That's another good name. So we've got a great deep bench for names. So Virginia Tech hit their first 5 shots to open up this half after finishing the first half with 6 of 6. Since that 5 of 5 burst, they've gone now 6 for 21.
By the way, that's a point. I know it's late and so on, but that was penetration inside, slip the screen, kicked it back out. They run good stuff. They're just running against a team that's better than them.
You know,
play good defense. Nice move.
Well, he's been impressive, and there's been good things for Virginia Tech, but again, they come up short. It's the old cliche of bringing a knife to a gunfight, and they just don't have the weapons yet, but they're on the way.
It's a great point. They have some weapons here. They're going to be very good next year, by the way. I like both teams. I think Virginia Tech's got a future with Buzz Williams, and I think NC State has a chance this year to make some noise, certainly in the tournament. They've got to keep playing the way they're playing tonight.
Last seconds, Corciani with the Tony Parker floater, and it rolls in. NC State needed it, they got it. They're 7-7 in the ACC, 16-11 overall. And then another game effort for Buzz Williams' team. They don't cheat their fans on effort, and that will eventually down the road lead to W's for Virginia Tech. We'll step aside and offer up some final thoughts on NC State's victory over Virginia Tech in Raleigh. North Carolina State takes care of business and improves to 7-7 in the Atlantic Coast Conference by defeating Virginia Tech. At times, it was hairy, made by a Hokies team that did not quit. And we're joined by two guys who have a ton of wins, and the man in the middle gets one today, Mark Gottfried. And this was a Hokies team, and I'm sure you knew going in they were never going to give up.
Well, they're a dangerous team because of the way they shoot the three. And at times we did a good job with that, taking the three away, but other times we didn't do a good job. And they've been that way all year. That's the way they played. But, you know, our team made some good plays. We defended them there in a stretch in the second half. Around the 12-minute mark, I thought our defense was really good. It's kind of one of those you just want to get it over and get on to the next one.
I know how you feel, but listen, I thought the things you did, you took advantage of who you are and what you are. Yep. You got the ball inside. Yep. It was like 12, plus 9 in the first half, plus 6 or 7 in the second half. In the paint, you're going to win the game if you get it there. And then secondly, I thought you chased them off the threes and made them dribble to the second line defense. You got 6-7 blocks that way, plus a lot of turnovers the way.
Well, and that's what
I liked best.
Well, thank you. That's what we tried to do is every time that, you know, if with penetration, almost foot fake at the penetrator, but not leave the shooter. It's hard to do sometimes because you're so used to leaving to come help. BJ helped us in there too, Anya. He got 4 or 5 blocks and altered a couple shots. And so I thought that ended up being pretty good. And then he stepped up, made, I think, 4 foul shots, which was great as well for us in a nice little stretch there. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's a good win. Move on to the next one. We got a great, tough game, our next one with North Carolina. So let's go home and be happy.
Right now, this time of season, any win's a good win. And they're tough, I agree, because they come at you with 3-point shots.
Well, they make threes. And if they get going and get hot like they did maybe at the end of the first half and then start of the second half, they become very dangerous because all of a sudden they can score with the 3. And so overall, it was a pretty good job. I think we can play better, but, hey, we'll take it and move on.
What has having Trevor Lacey this season meant to you and your team?
Makes big shots, big plays, big shots, and just a tough player, tough-minded guy. And he's that guy we talked about in practice yesterday. When you got to have a basket, you know, those possessions where you feel like maybe you've come up empty a couple trips and, boy, we need a basket. He seems to make those shots and gets guys in the right place, too. You know, he's an off guard, but really a point guard. Him and Cat play well together, but big shot maker.
You're going to have some fun on Wednesday night. That's what they keep telling me, your rainy schedule.
Well, it's going to be interesting, and you know, they're awfully good. They played great today. Whenever NC State, North Carolina play, it's a great game. This league's phenomenal. The depth in our league this year is amazing. So we got to make sure we're ready to play.
Well, it'll be fun, and you said it, and I believe it. You can beat anybody in the country. Yeah. The key thing is that you're going to have to go out and do that. You're a good basketball team, but so is a lot of other
Right, and we got to step up and do it. We put ourselves up against the wall a little bit, and now we've got to step up and get something done, and we were able to do it at Louisville. But we got to find a way to keep moving forward.
All right, Mark, congratulations on the W. Appreciate it. Good luck against Carolina. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Thank you.
Good job, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
So as Mark Gottfried steps aside, it is a win for NC State, 16-11. And here's the latest on the ACC, updated to the minute with Louisville's victory over Miami today. Now North Carolina winning today. Pitt beating Syracuse. And there is NC State, tied with Florida State, Miami, and Pitt. All at 7-7. Virginia Tech slips to 2-12. And we'll be very curious to see how the rest of the year goes for the Wolfpack. Our final score for the final time will be North Carolina State 69 and Virginia Tech 53. For Chip Calhoun and our great ESPN crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Coming up next, in fact, right now, Georgia and Alabama. Good night from Raleigh. Off we go to Tuscaloosa.